you tell the difference between a 50 Shades of Grey fan and a fan of your television show, The Fall?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know? How do you know who's going to bring what up?
There's a sort of energy in the eyes of a 50 Shades fan that the fans of The Fall just don't possess. It's like a hunger. And you can sort of see it and smell it.
Does it scare? Does the hunger ever scare you?
If it's in a pack, it's terrifying.
Oh, it doesn't.
Would you agree that the story is basically a love story?
Yes, 100%. I think it's the most love story of love stories.
Originally from what part of Ireland?
From the north, from Belfast.
From Belfast. Yeah. And what are you from? A family of actors? Is that something that?
No. My family are mostly doctors, actually.
Oh, doctors.
Doctors. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
My father is an obstetrician / gynecologist.
Oh, so he.
By the way,
what's with the slash? I think you're taking your role too seriously.
Yeah, no, that's a really inappropriate way to sort of divide those two things. But I've heard
he delivers babies, your father.
He is, yeah. Mostly all in Northern Ireland, yeah.
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
About over 6,000 babies in Northern Ireland, which is pretty much everyone in Northern Ireland.
It was the first time I'd come back to a character and come back to a crew and a cast, and it was so special. It's something, you create a sort of family, and it was great. We had so much fun.
He was on your show, wasn't he?
He's in The Fall, yeah, man. I didn't know about it either. It was...
What do you mean you didn't know?
Well, no, Dad is the worst person in the world at keeping secrets, but he managed to keep the biggest secret ever, which is he's on The Fall. I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't arrange it. He's got to know, like, Alan Cubitt, who created the show over the year, because it's been nearly 5 years of my life, this job. And so Dad's got to know him, like, socially and stuff. And they just arranged it behind my back. They had to shoot me out of it. So, like, Gillian kept shooting for about another month after I finished, because I had to go on to 50 Shades. So I then get sent all the episodes till, like, not for approval. They don't really care what I have to say. But they just, to be polite, they send it before they're aired, and there you go. And I was watching it. I was watching the second episode on a train from where we live in the middle of nowhere into London. And my dad just pops up, like, out of nowhere and delivers this, like, one line, like, really kind of well. It was kind of good.
One of my sisters just went to see Anthropoid, just a movie I did, came out about a month ago, and I killed myself at the end of that movie. And then I killed myself at the end of this, and she's like, you need to stop killing yourself at work. I can't bear watching it, which proves she loves me, which is nice. And I had an audition to play Olsen, who was a police officer who Gillian has a bit of a thing with, and who gets shot, of course, and get killed at the end of the second episode.
And they kind of guided my taste and exposed me to different kinds of films and different, their favorite movies, their favorite filmmakers, and, introduced me to different outlets in this industry, and it's kind of all their fault.
I have two young kids, 2 kids under 3, so you have no choice as soon as you walk through the door but to shake it off. You can't carry any of the character with you, no matter what job you're doing. Kids don't allow you to be anything but dad.
Also, speaking of ruining things, the next 2 50 Shades of Grey movies
are going to ruin the franchise.
You are in those, and then supposedly I heard that Ian Somerhalder is replacing you in that. Do you know anything about that? Is that true?
No, I don't know.
You do. You're under oath. You realize that, right?
Yeah. That would be really hard for them to do, considering we've shot.
You shot it already?
That's an expensive mistake.
Yes. Okay.
Put it that way. But good luck to him.
Do you still talk about your first love scene sometimes, or do you know what was running through your head?
I don't know if I remember the first love scene. Probably should. No, I don't actually remember it. Oh, I do. Okay, I do remember. We were sort of eased into it quite gently. The first one, we didn't do anything too extreme on day one. So we purposely left most of that to the end of the shoot in the first movie, so that Dakota and I had time to sort of get to know each other better and feel more comfortable around each other. So I think that was sort of important, you know.
Yeah, to get to know each other and to get used to each other.
Yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
really. So I wanted to know from you, how do you manage to stay calm and to stay relaxed in front of the camera?
During sex scenes?
Sexy scenes.
I mean, I think it's always a little bit daunting at first, and then, you know, I mean, it takes hours and you really have to dissect it and break it down into, you know, bits. So it becomes it becomes work. It's not, you're not really thinking about, you know, what's going on. It's not real. I mean, I don't know. I guess every time is different, but there's a lot of sex scenes in this movie, so you kind of just get down to business.
And I was in LA, and I was going up for all these jobs I didn't really have any interest in doing, but that's what you do as an actor. And they called and were like, look, they really liked you. They want you to come back in. They want you to make a self-tape for Spectre. And I was like, who's that? I don't remember. I was like, because it never happens this way around.
Yeah.
It's always like you go in for the lead, and then they're like, oh, you can play, you know, inpatient number 7, you know.
There you are. It appears that you are playing golf with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Where were you here?
I'd love to be able to explain what he's doing in that photograph, but I'm not into what he's doing at all. Like,
Why do you see me as the serial killer? Let me just get that.
Last time I checked, my mouth is always moving around. It's like I'm jet lagged. I only got in last night as well. I'm always jet lagged.
I know.
Okay, watch this. I'm gonna do it. Like,
Very, yeah, thank you.
thank you.
Positive
You
reinforcement.
can't teach that. What did you ask me? Set up all
Set.
these chairs to make it look like they're windows, and I climbed through and got, you know, from the opening scene. I don't know, you probably not all, I'm just presuming you've all watched the show, you probably haven't even seen the full. But at the start, you know, it's really good, it's really good. It's on Netflix.
Well, you just
I'm
act
really
out
good
for
in
us
it.
the first season.
Yeah, okay, so it's like, kind of like this. Right? And then I had to be like, I did a lot of that.
So you decided to not use any body double, I guess. Why that? Why was that so important for you to shoot the scenes on your own?
I think, I mean, it kind of felt like a cop-out. If I was going to do this job, I was going to do it 100% and give it everything. And you know, I don't know, I wanted to be true and honest to the role and the character, and that felt like, you know, I don't have a problem with nudity. I think it's beautiful, so I was okay with it.
Obviously, you know, if someone's directing anything you're doing, if it's got to that point, have 2 people left already, or? Very bored. You should spread out a bit so it doesn't look so empty. I think it's really it's a good girl.
Oh, she's taking
Good
direction.
girl. Yeah, I like that. Thanks.
Thank you. I don't know. I was brought up in a way. I was brought up to respect myself and be comfortable and confident, and
I called it. I'm quite good at sneaking off when everything's really fun and stuff. But you know you've hit a wall.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I just need to phone and make this phone call. It's LA. You know it's late, so LA's up. I'll go and make.
I got
just
you.
like sidle off. So I got into the elevator. I was like, brilliant. Going to bed. It's like 3 in the morning. I was playing golf at like 7 the next day. Then I'm in the elevator and it opens up on the 4th floor, or the 3rd floor, which was my room. And the doors ping open and Bill Murray's standing there, right? And he's like, where do you think you're going?
Last question, how can girls convince their boyfriend to go to the movie, to the cinema, and watch the second part of 50 Shades of Grey? I mean, 50 Shades Darker.
I mean, I'm in it.
Okay, enough.
yeah,
that's all we need to know.
Yeah.
No. Great.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's gonna be a great. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's gonna be a great film.
Vielleicht ist die 27-Jährige auch gerade deshalb so erfolgreich und trotzdem so bodenständig, fast schon schüchtern. Ja, dass bei Dakota und Jamie die Chemie eindeutig stimmt, ist kaum abzustreiten.
Wenn man sich bei so einem Film so gut versteht, wie wir es tun, macht es die Tage echt leichter.
Und kürzer.
Do you have any of like those terrible audition stories where
Are you kidding?
you
That's
almost
my
did a spit
only
take?
good audition story. I have horror show auditions, so every actor does. But like, dude, I've the worst. Like, fuck. I mean, I had one. I actually talked about it on a chat show the other day, but it's in the UK, so you probably didn't see it. But for Rock of Ages, do you remember that thing? Tom Cruise and Russell Brand.
Which character?
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. Yeah.
I don't know what character, some singer, and I had to sing, some song, 2 songs that I can't really sing very well. I can sing a bit, but it's very dangerous, and you should all take note of this. Don't tell your agent that you're a good singer, even if you're quite a good singer, because then they sell it that you're oh no, he's the best singer like you ever heard. He's like Sinatra, like. And so then you go into these auditions and they're like, well, I've been told he's like an incredible singer, and then it's that's not the result. And I had it was at Warner Brothers lot, and I got there early. I was second audition of the day. It was at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the first one was at 9:45. And I thought it was a good idea. This is before I had kids, so I probably slept until like 9, and then just rolled out of bed and like went. I brushed my teeth and went to this audition, and I thought, I can't sing and I'm so nervous and whatever, so I bought a little quarter bottle of Jameson whiskey. And I was like, okay, I'm going to drink this, it'll give me a bit of Dutch courage, it'll warm my vocal cords. And I parked my car. Oh God! I parked my car and I listened to the bloody songs the whole way in the car, and I was like, I've been waiting for a girl, that song.
Yeah.
I sang it the whole fucking way there. I got there and I got out of the car and I parked. I don't know if you've ever been to Warner Brothers. There's a massive big car park in the middle where that like water tower is, and there's like executives in fucking golf buggies driving around everywhere, and really important looking people. And I was like, okay, here we go. It was like 1:45. I better go. So I just thought, all right, and I just opened the whiskey and I drank it and instantly puked, like instantly, just like opened the car doors, and like fucking throwing up all over my shoes and over the side of the car, and all these like execs just driving past, and I'm like, because nothing had passed I had toothpaste and whiskey. That was the first, it was such a bad combination. Hadn't eaten anything. And then I hadn't thought it through. Well, I didn't plan to puke, obviously. But then I hadn't thought it through, so I didn't have like mints or like chewing gum or anything. So I then went into audition smelling whiskey and vomit. And like, and then he was like, oh, look, really looking forward to hearing you sing. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, really? This is going to be terrible. And it was a tiny little room, as audition rooms often are. It was tiny. It was like half the size of the stage. And I was smelling out the room with like whiskey and thing. And it's 10 in the morning. They must have just been like, who is this guy? And they're like, well, look, I bet he's got the voice of an angel, so this will be fine. And I get up and I murder those 2 songs. I don't remember what the other song was. It was impossible to sing. It was so high, and I have a very deep voice, and I couldn't get anywhere near it. Needless to say, I didn't get the job. And then I've had ones where I've stopped. I've actually did one where I was doing a Australian accent.
Oh, really?
Terribly badly. And it was just so bad. And it was in the days when I wasn't even really sure I wanted to be an actor, and I was mucking around. I was trying to wing it, and you should never wing an audition. Like, you need to work hard on auditions, I realised. And I didn't, and I thought I could just go in. Because after Marie Antoinette first audition, I was like, oh, this is easy. Just, walk in the room, say the lines, get the job, move on. And I was doing this Australian accent, and I actually heard it. I said the line and I heard it. It was so bad, I just started laughing. I'm like uncontrollably laughing at how bad it was. And they were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, this is just so bad." I was like, this is such a waste of your time. Can I go?" And they're like, "No, why don't you just like go outside and like, gather yourself and come back in?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm actually gonna go. Like, I cannot give you what you want. So I'm gonna go. Thanks for your time." And that was it. I left.
Was it just like
I had another audition. I could do this all day. I had another bloody singing audition.
oh,
Not only was I singing, I was playing the guitar, which is something it's about the fourth best instrument I play, I'd say. And I can't play any instruments. I can play guitar a bit. I can get myself through a song, and I not only they'd asked me to sing these two songs that I wasn't capable of playing the guitar well, that I couldn't play the chords, so I sang them a song that they didn't want to hear, that they hadn't asked. They said, "These are the two songs you have to prepare," and I was like, "Fine, you're not going to hear either of those two songs. I cannot play those songs." So I played some other song by the same person who they wanted them to be. And it was dire, and I couldn't sing it. I was so nervous, and it was a room full of people, and the producer was like super big time, crazy producer, who will never work with me as a result of what I did in the room. And I finished the song, and they were like, yeah, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. And they're like, "Oh no, that was great. You don't have to apologize." I was like, "Come on, like, I'm just so sorry." And then my agent at the time bumped into the said producer at a lunch, and she came up to him and said, "Tell Jamie to you just can't do that. You never apologize."
Yeah.
And so I sort of learned my lesson, and it probably wasn't very cool. And not only did I apologize, I also said, "That guy who was in before was great."